Oh yeah, I'm the champion.
Yeah.
There's no one that can beat me at Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I know the tricks to it though. I had a few toy puppets when I was younger, and it's one of those things I always knew that I had a little bit of a knack for just kind of making things come to life in general. This is Fritz, I made him, and Charlie Chaplin, I made him too. And then I made Story, this big ninja here. I make most of the ones that are a little bit like stranger, you know, that aren't quite as like polished. I went to a little liberal arts school called the University of Montevallo. It's really small, it's in Alabama, just in the middle of nowhere. And I started reading a lot about some of the more interesting puppeteers from America especially. And so I knew I was kind of leaning towards at least an interest in it by the time I finished college, and I got a degree in directing and sort of focused on wanting to do children's theater. And I just moved to New York, and I finally realized one time that I was directing a show, and it was just like, wow, now I'm to the point where I'm doing like all puppets. So it's just sort of, you know, develop your niche until you know exactly what you want to do. Oh, all the time these things come to life in the middle of the night. You know, I look over, I'm like, wait, did that just move? That one's the worst. He just now came from the club actually. So if you look, his eyes move as you follow it. I started out more into hand puppets, but the club is specifically into the marionettes. Hand puppet, you're controlling every action. With the marionette, I mean, you're still controlling everything, but there's just a little bit of like life in between where the controls end and where the strings hit the head. I take care of all the puppets from the club, from Bootsy Bellows. It's definitely centered around the music, I would say mostly. When we have DJs, it's a club, but there's always going to be two puppeteers that roam around, and you know, you'll find little pockets on the dance floor where people are, you know, like, it's almost like a fifth grade dance or something. Everyone like hanging around clapping, but just with a puppet dancing or dancing with a girl and that kind of thing. So I like to bring one of the really good ones out early, and then kind of like build them up with the smaller puppets. But I do have some that are kind of on the bench and some that are kind of in current rotation and that sort of thing. You know, you hear that expression, like if you give a man a mask, he'll show you his face. I definitely feel like that's true of the puppets. Like, it's way easier for me to, you know, come up to someone with a puppet than it is for me to just come up to someone in general. Bootsy Bellows is amazing, but it is a very selective group because, you know, kids obviously aren't going to be there, and I perform over on the boardwalk, and anyone walks by, tourists, locals, but they can just see a puppet, interact for a second, maybe take a photo or something. It's just nice, like connecting with people, and that's it. So no pretense after that. at any point in time it gets tough, I'm kind of like, well, you know, I have a stage. Like you can't beat having, like working at a place, having a stage, having a place to just demonstrate what you want to do and have an audience to watch it. You know? So. I realize a lot of times, like, I don't look above people's knees because I'm just kind of like where the puppet is and everything. So someone will come up and talk to me afterwards and be like, oh, that was great, like our dance and everything, it was so much fun. And I'm just like, who are you? Look down at their shoes and I'm like, oh yeah.